Hey, it's Dan Moralez, and this is Homebuyer Radio. This week's episode is episode number 96. Hey, this week what I want to talk about is I want to talk about buyer fatigue. Okay, if you are a first-time home buyer, and some of you have been looking for a house for a really long time. Okay, I've got a number of clients that have been pre-approved for over a year, and a number of them that are still looking for homes. Okay. Now, I've had a lot of clients that have gotten so frustrated or so fatigued by this process that they've hung it up. Okay, they're like, I just give up. It's too hard. There's just too much competition. Every time I find a house and I want to write an offer, I'm losing the house to somebody else, or my offers just never seem to win. And so they're fatigued. They're burnt out. They're tired of the process, and they're just headed for the exit. Right? I'm just going to wait to buy a property, and I'm just going to put it off. This is clearly a sign that home ownership is not meant for me. Okay, now. First of all, let me tell you that, a lot of times, that thought process, we get negative thoughts, we can allow our negative thoughts to, just kind of spiral us, into making a number of bad decisions. Okay. That's just true in life in general. Okay. Take it from me, as a guy who's got a lot of experience in life, I can tell you that, sometimes our thought process, our stinking thinking, can really lead us to make a number of decisions that are bad or just wrong. Okay. And if that buyer fatigue is something that, you've experienced, maybe you've been that person where you wrote a number of offers and you've lost and you just can't seem to get something to stick. I always tell folks, the right property will come around at the right time. Sometimes you do have to be patient or have some patience as part of this process because, it has been a really crazy market that we've seen, especially, for a good chunk of 2018. In a number of markets in the country, we've had these really crazy, bidding wars for property, okay? Now, as somebody who's working in the industry, I can tell you that, for a number of areas in the country, we're starting to see what resembles a much more normal marketplace, meaning that you're not seeing, these, multiple offer situations like you did earlier in the year. A lot of markets are starting to become more in line with what's, normal or what is, kind of a typical housing market, which is good. So if you're somebody who has been discouraged and you kind of, went to the sidelines and said, hey, I'm just going to put this thing off to next year, or I'm just going to put it off for now, maybe give it some reconsideration. Okay. Because the market is getting closer to normal, and you may have an opportunity to be able to pick something up now that you may not have had success with earlier in the year. So, just keep your eyes open, keep an open heart to this process, and trust that, the right property will come at the right time. Don't miss out on a window of opportunity to be a homeowner. Sometimes it's just being patient, okay? So if you're somebody who's, experienced that fatigue, I would just really encourage you to kind of get back on the saddle and just be willing to be patient and flexible and have an open mind as you go through this process, because the more flexible you can be in your home search process and in your ability to make a transaction come together, the more viable your offer can become as well too, right? Because if you can be flexible to a property seller in, the terms of your contract and occupancy and other stuff like that, that could be an important key to you being able to make a transaction come together, because maybe you're able to meet a piece of flexibility or something that the seller needs by being flexible that will make a transaction go. If you have a number of offers that are, if you've offered a gazillion times and you keep losing, just make sure you've got a good seasoned realtor that you're working with too, right? Because sometimes the agent that's putting the transaction together or writing the offer for you or helping you to craft the offer, maybe it's just being structured in such a way that you're losing because your agent's putting together the wrong structure for your offer. I've had some agents who are just really brilliant, who have really crafted some very unique offers, and I've had clients win because of their agent's creativity in being able to put together an offer. I've had clients win offers because we were the lender that they were getting the pre-approval from. Because our reputation was such in the marketplace that the agent who was representing the seller would encourage the seller to take our offer because they know that we would actually deliver and get the transaction done when it's all said and done. So make sure you you have a good experienced team behind you as you're out there looking, okay? Because that's one way to avoid this, buyer's fatigue, is by making sure you have a solid team of people representing you. A solid, mortgage person, a solid realtor, right? A really good mortgage person, really good realtor work hand in hand. They are going to work together to make sure that you have the best odds of success in avoiding, this buyer fatigue that we're talking about. So, keep in mind, the right people make all the difference. Okay, just be willing to be patient, be flexible, and be willing to maybe jump back into the game if you've been out of it because you were so discouraged or frustrated about the buying process. Because we're headed into a market, we're headed into a time of the year that things tend to get a little bit quieter, right? So you could have this really sweet window of opportunity to be able to jump in and make something happen that would benefit you, versus waiting until next spring or something like that, right? Because that would seem to be what a lot of people think. I'm just going to wait until next spring and so on. Great, you can wait till next spring and you can jump back in the market with everybody else and find yourself right back where you jumped out, right? So do yourself a favor, have an open mind, have an open heart, be willing to keep your eyes open for maybe an opportunity that you weren't planning on to be able to become a homeowner, okay? If you need a mortgage to buy that house, I want to help you finance it, okay? We offer most loan programs in most of the 50 states, so I'd love to have the opportunity to work with you as you get ready to buy your new house. Again, my name is Dan Moralez. This is Homebuyer Radio. Do me a favor, if you enjoy the podcast, share it, and also please write us a review on iTunes. When you write a review and you leave a rating, that helps to push us up higher in the algorithm, and more people will find us, which means that we have the opportunity to impact more people, right? We don't sell you stuff here, okay? Yeah, well, I take that back. We do try to sell you a mortgage, but we do it in a very subtle, hopefully educational and informative way where you don't feel like you're being pressured or you're not getting some 5-10 minute sales pitch on why you need a mortgage and you need it from me. Now, I can do that if you'd like me to, but I really would prefer not to. So, do me a favor, if you're going to buy a house, you want to get pre-approved, or you need a mortgage, or maybe you own a house now and you want to refinance it to take advantage of some of the equity you have in your house, we would love to have the opportunity to help you. Again, my name is Dan Moralez. My NMLS number is 709729. I work for Northpointe Bank. You can find me at 616-931-4629. Again, 616-931-4629. Online, you can find me at danmoralez.com. That's DANMORALEZ.com. And of course, Northpointe Bank is an equal housing lender.